guys are curious on why I ended up with the Canon M50 instead of the Canon G7X Mark II, stay tuned. Hey car besties, it's Thadya and this is my Interchangable crosser. So a little backstory, I have been filming everything that I've been producing with my Google Pixel 3, and even though it's a good camera, it tends to overheat and I would drain its battery really quickly, and so that's the reason why I wanted to upgrade my camera. So I'll be using my car back here with some of the shots so that you guys can see what the new camera can do. The first reason why I chose this camera is because of its picture quality. I did a lot of research and watched a lot of videos of the M50 versus the G7X Mark II, and I think that this has slightly better picture quality. I even watched vlogs done by Amy TV because she had a Canon G7X Mark II before she upgraded to the M50, so that kind of like made me want to upgrade to the M50 or move on to the M50. But you guys can be the judge and let me know if the picture quality has improved on my channel. Here's just a quick test of the picture quality. So the second reason why I chose this camera is because of its interchangeable lenses. So basically I have a wide range of lenses that I can use on this camera, and even though I'm not gonna go all crazy and make a cinematic movie, I think that it's something that I would like to explore so that I can really make really nice car videos. Also, this camera will allow me to use a filter called CPL, which is a polarizing filter, and what it will allow me to do is to take pictures of me or people inside the car, their cars, with the windows up. So basically you can take pictures through the windshield as well, because what that filter does is it eliminates the glare that's on the glass so that you can see inside the car, which is pretty cool, and it's something that I want to experiment with, but not right now because I just spent money on this camera. So the kit lens that comes with this camera is a 15 to 45 millimeter with a biggest aperture of 3.5, which I think is actually pretty decent for vlogging. It's not too close and not too far. So this is at 15 millimeters and this is 45. So reason 3 is the external mic input. The G7X Mark II does not have that option, and as you can see, it's pretty windy right now, and hopefully the audio is not too bad because I am using a Shure mic. I will be taking out the mic so that you guys can hear what it sounds like without the external mic. So this is without the external mic. You guys can hear, probably can hear the wind and someone cutting grass in the background and also a car that is passing by. So the next reason is because this camera has Canon's famous dual pixel autofocus, and even though the G7X Mark II has decent autofocus, this one is still superior, probably also because this camera has a newer processor. So this camera can track your face even if I look away, which I think is pretty cool. I actually had a digital camera before that constantly had to hunt for my face or to focus in, and I was very annoyed by it because it kept on making that a bit of a noise when it's constantly hunting for my face or something to focus on. So that's the reason why I chose this camera. So I've been recording this video using the manual mode because I'm trying to get away from using the auto mode or depending on the auto mode, and so I have been adjusting the aperture and also the ISO on this camera. So the camera also has a white balance setting where it will allow you to adjust depending on how the lighting conditions are outside, which I think is pretty cool. So I think I'm gonna change a couple of the settings so that you guys can see what it looks like. So right now it's at the daylight setting. I'm not sure if it's gonna make a difference if I were to go into the sun. So let's see. So now this is the shade setting, which I think it makes the color pop out a little bit more, and it actually looks pretty good for the current condition that I'm in. So I am curious. I currently have this set up to the shade mode, but what if I were to bring it out into the sun? Will it be too much? Still doesn't look too bad. And this is cloudy. I'm not sure if there's much of a difference between the shade and cloudy. This is tungsten. And this one is white fluorescent light. So the last thing is that this camera also has more frame rate options compared to the G7X Mark II. And I would like to be able to do some slow-mo, like panning shot of cars, of my car and other cars maybe potentially. And so that's the reason why I went with this camera. I have never really played around with the frame rates just yet, so I'm gonna test them out today. So to be fair, I do have a list of things that made it difficult for me to choose between the M50 and the G7X Mark II. So the first thing is that the G7X Mark II is way more compact compared to the M50, because with the M50 you have to bring the lens, the batteries, and the mic as well, versus the G7X Mark II. You just have to bring the camera basically. For the lens to be able to retract all the way into the camera, that was also a bonus for me. And I'm honestly someone that is a minimalist. I don't like to bring a lot of things with me, so this is going to be an adjustment for me. Second thing is that the G7X Mark II does better in low lighting compared to this camera because of its 1.8 aperture, which is very good for a point-and-shoot camera. And I was also thinking that while I'm working underneath the car where I don't really have a lot of light, the G7X Mark II would work better for me. But again, I wanted to upgrade my camera so that the picture quality would be better. So that's the reason why I ended up choosing this camera over the G7X Mark II. What made it easier for me to choose this camera, even though the low light capability is not that good, is the Viltrox speed booster. I watched the video by Potato Jet, check out his channel. He compared this camera with the speed booster and compared it with the EOS R camera, which is like a $2,300 camera, and the results were actually pretty close. And so that's the reason why I ended up with this camera. Last thing is that after watching all the review videos for the G7X and the M50, I noticed that the G7X has better stabilization compared to the M50, because in the videos when the person is holding the camera and walking around, you can see that the G7X is a little bit more smoother and not as bumpy compared to the M50. So that was one of my concerns, because if I'm at a car show or if I am at a track day and I want to vlog that experience, I do not want my video to be all shaky. So that was my concern. However, you know, there are gimbals out there that I can use for this camera, and so that's the reason why I think that I can work around that. And there you have it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and found it informative. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe so that you can also help me grow my channel, because I've been trying to find a reason why I should continue producing the videos that I've been producing after I have my baby girl. So also don't forget to click on the notification button so that every time I upload a new video, you guys get notified. Thanks again, and stay tuned. Bye!